Hey, it's Denise O'Neill, inner life coach from It's All About Women, and I would like to thank you tonight for joining me on this very special topic, redefining beauty from the inside out. And before we get started, I would just like to say thank you. It, um, I am so grateful to our members. It was in creating the content for your Remarkable Body Image virtual retreat that I actually discovered what has been holding me back my entire life. And it started from when I was a little girl, and I really had no idea. And it occurred to me that if I was in this much shock, maybe it's time that we share this message with all women and help them to understand how a negative body image is impacting their life. And, honestly, this was, I finally connected all the dots and put the pieces together, and it totally blew me away. I mean, as women, we were created to be beautiful. And it is when we tap into our divine feminine power that we are unstoppable. We feel fabulous, and we truly come from the essence of who we are, and we radiate. And there's just so much possibility open to us when we discover this inherent birthright that we are truly beautiful. And yet there's this double standard. The media projects this standard of beauty to us, that you have to have the symmetrical face, the large eyes, the full lips. And we know in our hearts that we don't meet that standard. So even though our loved ones and our family and friends are telling us that we're beautiful, we're not feeling it in here. We're not owning it. Something is preventing us from owning it. And I think a lot of it is due to the fact that we are disconnected from our bodies. In fact, that's why I didn't even understand that all these years it was a negative body image that I was struggling with. I had no idea. I honestly felt I had issues with having a love relationship. And if I was able to awaken that love in my life that I yearned for and longed for, then that was the secret to unraveling all the pain that I had been suffering with. And, I even gave it fancy labels. I mean, there was codependence, there was abuse, there was, at the heart of all that, this desire to be a pleaseaholic. I thought because I wasn't worthy and valued, and the only way I could be loved was by doing for others. And so, to that end, I was like an addict. I was always trying to please and gaining my value and worth through my ability to do that. And this goes back a very long way. I can remember being in grade 5 and sitting with my dad at the kitchen table, and he had the class picture out. And I was convinced at that time that I was the ugliest girl in school. And Dad sat there beside me with this class photo and said, well, show me somebody in your class that you think is beautiful, and tell me why you're not. Like, what's different about you than this girl or this girl or this girl that makes you not feel beautiful? So, it wasn't a message that I had received at home that I wasn't beautiful. I mean, I grew up, there's me and my sister, Dawn, and Dawn, I always thought my sister was beautiful. You know, she modeled, and she actually still models to this day. And so in my eyes, I saw her as the pretty one. And, you know, I totally disconnected from my body at a very young age, thinking, okay, well, you know, she's the pretty one. I'm the one with personality. And so that's just the way that it is. And so I didn't give any credence to appearance. I didn't think. I, you know, was busy. I was active. I played sports. I used my body as an instrument. I ate healthy. I didn't struggle with weight loss or with any kind of weight issues. And I honestly thought that negative body issues were restricted to if you were too fat or too thin, or you had some kind of an eating disorder. I really didn't own the fact that all this time, at the heart, the core of everything that I had experienced was this internalized negative body image, until I, like I said, was putting the content together for the Remarkable Body Image virtual retreat. I knew I didn't love myself, but I had put it to love as being the answer, not developing a harmonious relationship with my body. That just didn't awaken in me until this. And so, you know, love really was the answer, but it was all about loving my body. And that's the message that I want to share with you tonight, and share very intimately on how it has impacted my life. You know, I had a lot of pain and suffering because I experienced this self-loathing. The relationships that I had in my life were mirroring that self-loathing, hence the abuse. You know, I hated myself, so of course I didn't understand that I deserved more, that I was worthy of more. And thus, in those relationships that I stayed in for far too long, were just mirroring my own hatred of me. And that's what I'm hoping tonight I can clarify for you and remove that confusion of what a positive body image is and how critical it is to your well-being, your overall health. Our happiness is dependent on finding the way to love our bodies, to love your body. It affects all the dimensions of your life: your physical, your emotional, your financial, your career, your relationships, and spiritual. And what really needed to change for me was going within and coming from a place of gratitude. And, you know, the 1 year when my life totally fell apart, my body became a neon billboard, and it was exclaiming to the world that I was a mess. I was a complete mess. I had a growth in my abdomen, a mass, and I was in a state of fear. My job was coming to an ending with the Good Grief Resource Center that I had founded. The money wasn't there to continue the funding. I was out of work. I was in a state of pain. My son was leaving home, and I was becoming an empty nester. My cat died. A little kitten, not even a year old, that I had died. And here was my own health. You know, I had this stomach that made me look like I was pregnant, and I was ashamed. And it was that weight of shame and guilt that I carried. It was right before my eyes. And I knew something had to change. I knew I had to take the steps. And it was time for me to take 100% responsibility for my life. It was time for me to own it and to see what I was bringing to the table. That created these experiences, these very painful experiences in my life. And so I went on a pilgrimage, and I went on a pilgrimage home. And it began a spiritual quest to connect with me. And it was through that connection to my infinite self, through a place of gratitude, that I developed not only self-love, but I also was able to establish a harmonious relationship with my body. And I know that sounds crazy, that how did I do this without even recognizing that I had a problem in the first place? But that's what I'm thinking others are experiencing, because I had totally disconnected from the whole appearance thing. I mean, I had done home childcare for years. I'd get up in the morning and look in the mirror, you know, when you're brushing your teeth, and then I'd go to bed at night and look in the mirror again while I'm brushing my teeth before bed. I just totally avoided mirrors. I totally avoided being in pictures. I mean, at all family events, I'd be busy doing something and would miss being, you know, taking a photograph of me. In fact, my mom would say, "Oh, we missed Denise again in the pictures," because I didn't like what I saw in the pictures. I didn't like seeing me. I would cringe when I would see a picture of myself. And, you know, as far as appearance went, the only thing that I was a stickler about was my hair. And, you know, when I was a little girl in kindergarten, I had very long golden hair, and the children would fight to sit behind me, you know, in different events that we attended at school, so that they could play with my hair. And so because I received a lot of positive feedback about my hair became my thing. And, you know, so I totally resonated with the bad hair day, because it literally was all about my hair. In fact, when relationships would end, that was time for me to either cut my hair or color my hair or get a new style of some sort to define this significant change in my life. And I didn't like shopping for clothes. I was, you know, like I said, the tomboy. So I just avoided dressing rooms of any sort. I could remember, though, this one time my daughter and we were going shopping. I had, you know, scanned the magazine articles and read up about what I needed to do to find the perfect bathing suit that minimized and maximized and made me look my very best. And getting this bathing suit and feeling absolutely gorgeous in it. And but still, when I went away with this man that I was seeing at the time, I purposely left my bathing suit at home, which is, I mean, it's crazy. You're going away for the weekend. Of course, he's going to see your body. But I'm thinking, well, I don't want him seeing me in my bathing suit. Well, the monkey, what he decides is that, well, we need to get me a bathing suit. So he takes me in this small town. There's only like a Zellers where we could go buy the bathing suit. And I was mortified at the thought that we were going to Zellers to buy a bathing suit, because here I had spent, you know, an entire day finding the perfect suit. So how on earth, you know, was I going to go through the process of getting a bathing suit in his company? And as it turned out, you know, it was one of the funnest adventures of my life. It was just like, you know, in the movies where they show the person coming out of the dressing room and doing the faces. So it was a real comedy show, and had a lot of fun with it, because, of course, he was desired to be there with me. And so I got lots of rave reviews each time I came out with a new suit. In fact, we didn't know which one I should be getting, because they all look so beautiful on me. And, you know, in his eyes, he saw me as beautiful, and so I felt beautiful. And that's the thing, though, is that you need to discover the beauty within yourself. It can't be found externally, and it can't be given to you. You know, like I had shared, my dad had sat with me as early as grade 5 and said, like, why don't you think you're beautiful? And this isn't a message that someone else can give you. It's a message that has to come within. But what can help you to discover your beauty and your value and your worth is by learning to connect with that divine feminine power within. And I did this through mindfulness and changing my self-talk. And that created a huge shift. The inner critic can be very loud. And so when I wrote the book, The Missing Ingredient, what I wanted to help you to see there is that, you know, it's really about loving you and finding the tools to nurture yourself and invest in self-care. And that was the process that I felt every woman needed to be aware of, is to not, you know, look outside into her relationships to define her value and worth, but to look within. But it's even greater than that. It's really about developing our harmonious relationship with your body and being connected to yourself and finding the tools and the support to do that. Because once you do, your life will never be the same. In fact, I've gone from a woman that didn't even like getting her picture taken to doing these videos for It's All About Women. And that is such a stretch for me. I'm in a career that I love. I love connecting with other women. I love sharing resources with other women. I love giving women a voice that I had lost for so long, that I had silenced. I didn't believe I had anything of value or worth to say. I thought my love that I so longed for could only be given to me through my doing. Because certainly, you know, I wasn't pretty, so I thought, let alone beautiful. And this is what I want you to understand tonight, is that maybe you're like me. Maybe you had totally disconnected from the appearance piece and thought, you know, a positive body image isn't what your struggle is. Maybe you were like me and thinking, you know, if you only had that love in your life, that would be the end of the pain that you struggle with every day. But it's not the love that you think. It's the love of your body. Your body image, developing a positive body image, is really the game changer in all of this. It affects our relationships. In fact, my relationships with men, my body was an instrument. I didn't honor or respect my body. And thus, I gave my love freely. And I defined my value and worth by their desire for me, and would use my body to get and receive the love that I so longed for. When all along, I just needed to love myself and understand at the core of me and know it in my very, very bones, my value and worth as a woman, and appreciate the beautiful essence of who I am. And that helped me with boundaries. It helped me to respect and honor myself. It changed all my relationships. Because when I show up loving myself, everything around me changed. And that's what I want for you. So I hope tonight will be an invitation for you to take a step back, look at the experiences in your life, and if you're ready to take 100% responsibility for those experiences that you've had in your life, if you are ready to design the life that you have always wanted, if you are ready to create and discover you and experience that revival of the thriving, joyful, playful woman that you know is inside of you, then this is something that you need to listen to. And you need to find a way to connect with her, because she's never left you. She's there. And I have tools tonight that are going to support you in helping you find that woman. And it is the greatest gift that you can bestow upon yourself and all the others that you love in your life. Because when you come from a place of your inner beauty, like I said, you are unstoppable. Our inherent divine feminine power is it's amazing energy. And when you are able to connect with that and tap in and tune in to your body, you will create everything that you desire in your life. That I guarantee. So tonight we're going to be looking at 3 different steps that you can take to create this change. And one, yes, it is a fat-free diet, because a fat-free diet really is about removing all of those toxic messages that play daily, and they take you, it's fat talk, and it makes you feel bad about yourself. So we're going to learn ways on how to release and cleanse your mind and let go of that inner dialogue that tells you that you're no good and that you're ugly or that you're fat or that you are not enough. And then we are going to look at how our body image affects those around us. What harmful messaging are we sharing with our daughters, with other women? As women, we like to connect with each other and commiserate over our miseries. And, you know, it doesn't serve us well. We're our number one enemy. And so we really want to take a look at how that messaging, how are we modeling our body image to others in our lives. And even the men in our lives. You know, they see us from a place of love. They see us as beautiful. And when we don't feel that beauty in ourselves, it's really disrespect to them. You know, I was looking at the article in the Huffington Post, and the mom had, you know, looked at the pictures on the camera. She had had a beach day with her kids, and she saw one of herself laying on the beach. And she was like, oh my gosh, you know, who took this picture? And her son said to her, oh, Mom, isn't that, I just had to take a picture of you. You look so beautiful laying there in the sand. And then her daughter came along and said, oh my goodness, it should be on a postcard, Mom. You look beautiful. And all she could think of, she thought she looked like a beach whale. Well, I can remember having these conversations with my mom. My mom loves to take my picture, and as I mentioned, I hated getting my picture taken. So I would always be absent. You know, she'd have to hunt me down. And when she did take the picture, I'm like forbidding her to put it up. And it was in reading that article that I recognized I'm my mom's daughter. Of course, every time she looks at me, she sees her beautiful daughter. Just like when I look at my daughter, I see her as being beautiful. And yet here we are as women saying, You can't put that picture up. And these people in our life see us for the beautiful women that we are. And that's what I want for you tonight, is for you to see what they see, to see your beauty. And then, of course, our third topic for tonight is going to be looking at what steps you can take to create this change in your life, to climb this mountain, because I know you can. I did. I'm testimony that this can be your inheritance, is waiting for you. It's just needing you to claim it. And so thank you again for joining me. This is a beautiful reality that we all share. And it's one that we need to embrace, that we are all beautiful. Please join me and hundreds of other women for this short, simple, and profound webinar, Redefining Beauty from the Inside Out, a new approach to loving yourself and your body. I'll be facilitating a live Q&A session to offer personalized one-on-one coaching and answer any of your questions or concerns. It's easy to register, it's free, and only available this week. All you need to do is click the link below. I look forward to seeing you.